Hi. So this video covers the first few parts of the Constitution, few basics and introduction into citizenship, fundamental rights, directive principles and fundamental duties. It is a theoretical video as no questions are asked on this in reasoning except from fundamental rights, which have been dealt with in the previous video. The Union and citizenship. So as mentioned, our country follows a system of single citizenship, which basically means that there is no division or utility barrier between the center and the states. It also means that at the same time we can't apply for citizenship in any other country, because if we do so, we automatically get rescinded of citizenship from our country and we lose our passport and other benefits. Moving on, fundamental rights. We will study this in the greatest detail. So they are also called negative rights as they are enforceable, and due to the same reason, Articles 32 and 226 can be used to move the Supreme and High Court respectively for writ petition. There are 5 writs which you have studied earlier. Regarding the third point here, it is from this Article 13 subsection 2 that the power of the courts of judicial review originates. And this is how the courts struck down ultra vires legislations which go beyond the bounds of the Constitution. So the broad division of fundamental rights is shown here in the table. Please do have a look. So we shall now go into its explanation. Equality and freedom. Under equality in Article 15, discrimination is prohibited on 5 grounds, namely religion, race, caste, sex and place of birth. For Article 21, which is right to life, it is the paramount, as it basically is the guardian of all human rights and deals with any human right violations. So it is the broadest as well. The importance of Articles 20 and 22 has been told to you in a criminal law video. The doctrines like the doctrine of double jeopardy and so on are other important that they have to be aware of. You should know the subpart of this article as well. Like doctrine of double jeopardy is Article 20 subpart 3. So this is how you should be aware of the articles, as they are frequently asked in legal knowledge. Right to property is now a legal right and not a fundamental right. Moving on, exploitation and religion. Freedom of religion is extremely important, as the two pillars, which are namely the state and the religion, should be kept separate and as far as possible. They shouldn't interfere in each other's work and domain. Being secular, as mentioned here, is a basic structure and a basic feature of our constitution, as it is written in the preamble. Cultural, educational and constitutional remedies. Okay, so regarding the third point here, it again shows how broad Article 21 is, because it incorporates Article 21A, which is right to education. One more interesting thing to note here is that right to education is one such provision which comes under all three, which are fundamental rights, directive principle, and also it is also a fundamental duty. So it is the only such provision which comes under all three. Please note that Article 32 has been called the heart and soul of the Constitution by the father of the Constitution. And yes, Articles 33 to 35 aren't really important to study for the entrances. So this ends fundamental rights. Now we go into directive principles. For our understanding, these can be understood similar or akin to international law because they have the same guiding and advisory value but no binding nature. Though from time to time the Supreme Court has elevated the status of certain directive principles to that of the status of fundamental rights, like it did in the case of right to education, which was earlier only a directive principle, but Supreme Court in a case elevated it and made it a fundamental right. Even the topics of Article 44, which is Uniform Civil Code, and Article 48, which is prohibition of slaughter of cows, are highly controversial topics where the Apex Code is currently involved. So directive principles are in fact important and debated upon, even if they are not enforceable and non-justiciable. So the last aspect of the video, fundamental duties, they were inserted via the 42nd Amendment, which is also called the Mini Constitution Amendment. As you can see, they were borrowed from Russia and are 11 in number, but interestingly there were originally only 10, and then the 11th was added, which relates to education, which is mentioned here in one of the examples. The 11th one was added through an amendment later. So that is it for this video, and this is a very vast topic, but I've listed all the important points that I could think of for you. Please do subscribe and comment any doubts which you may have. Thank you and good luck.